everyone, welcome to my presentation for the course module Entrepreneurship. The title of my presentation is Field Visit Reflection and Entrepreneurial Analysis. The main purpose of this assignment is to connect what we learn in class with real world business practices. For this, I visited Lihini Group, a well known Sri Lankan company. During this visit, I observed how entrepreneurs identify opportunities, manage resources, innovate, and lead their businesses. I also learned how theory applies in practical. In this presentation, I will share the background of Lihini Group, how they recognize business opportunities, how they manage financial, human, and operational resources, their innovation and competitive strategies, leadership traits and decision making and styles, sustainable practices in and CSR. Finally, I will share my personal learning and conclusion. Now, let me introduce Lihini Group. Lihini Group of started in 1990 by Mr. Vincent Ernest Fernando. It began as a small rice milling business but grew into a large diversified company over the 25 years. Today, Lihini Group of 9 subsidiary companies operating in different industries. There are some different areas they work in: seafood processing and export. They export fresh and frozen fish to contribute Italy, Germany, France, USA, Japan, and Australia. Virgin coconut oil production. They make cold pressed, eco friendly coconut oil for health conscious customers. Styrofoam manufacturing. They produce packaging materials for seafood and other industry. Polythene packaging. They make bag and wrappers for food and industrial use, and they recycle plastic to reduce waste. Aquaculture and ice factories. They breed prawns and fish and make ice for the fishing industry. Hospitality. They are building eco-friendly hotel like Arangala Forest Lodge. Lihini Group is successful because of three main reasons: quality and certification. They follow international standards like BRCGS, FDA, and IFS Asia. Diversification. They spread risk and work in seafood, agriculture, packaging, and tourism. Today, Lihini Group employs more than 250 people, operates 5 fishing vessels, and earns over 4 billion annually from the export. They also have modern technology like ERP system, quality analysis, and cold storage facilities. Now let's talk about how Lini Group recognized business opportunities. The founder, Mr. Vincent Ernest Fernando, started with a small rice milling business in 1990, but he was very alert to market gaps and customer needs. Over time, he identified several opportunities that helped the company grow into a large group. First opportunity: seafood export. He saw that international markets like Europe and Japan had a high demand for fresh and frozen seafood. At that time, Sri Lanka had good fresh resources but very few exporters. So, Lihini Group entered seafood processing and export. For example, swordfish was sold locally for about 300 per kilogram, but in Italy it was in high demand. By exporting swordfish, the company increased its value and even changed local market prices. Second opportunity: ice production. When they started prawn farming, they realized that ice was essential to keep prawns fresh. But there was a shortage of ice in the market. Instead of depending on others, they built their own ice factories near fishing harbors. Third opportunity: packaging materials. When exporting seafood, they needed styrofoam boxes and polythene bags. These were hard to find locally, so Lihini Group started making EPS boxes and polythene packaging through Lihini Polypacks. Later, they even began recycling polythene to reduce cost and help the environment. Fourth opportunity: virgin coconut oil. Global customers were looking for healthy natural products. Lihini Group started producing cold pressed virgin coconut oil under Lihini Natural Products. Fifth opportunity: hospitality. They also saw growth in tourism and start building eco-friendly hotels like Arankala Forest Lodge. All these opportunities show how the company understood market needs and sustainability. They focus on traceability, certification, and eco-friendly practice like long-term fishing and organic farming. Now let's look at how Lihini Group assess feasibility and manage resources to grow their business. Financial feasibility. The company mainly uses bank loans to finance its operations. They maintain good relationship with banks by repaying loan on time, which build trust and make it easier to get more credit for future expansions. For example, when they wanted to increase production of seafood and value added products like cutlets and rolls, they invest in modern machinery. This allowed them to produce about 5,000 units per day, which would have been possible with manual labor. Human resource. The company started with about 25 employees. About as operation expanded, the workforce grew to over 250 employees. Seafood processing still depends heavily on human labor, but coconut oil production uses more machines for consistency and hygiene. Operational resources. Lihini Group owns five multi-day fishing vessels equipped with modern technology, including vessel monitoring system. They also have cold storage facilities with a combined capacity of about 80 tons and a new fish canning factory. Technology plays a big role in operations. They use ERP system to manage finance and inventory and quality control labs to check histamine and mercury levels in fish. They also track vehicles fleets digitally to monitor speed and fuel consumption. Managing challenges. When they first start exporting seafood, they had no experience, so they outsourced exports to an experienced party for 1 year to learn. Another challenge was during COVID-19. Hotel demand dropped, but supermarket sales increased. Diversification helped them main cash flow. Let's talk about innovation and how Lihini Group uses it to stay ahead of competitors. Product innovation. Fish sausages developed after 3 years of research with Wyoming University. They also make value added seafood products like fish rolls, cutlet, patties, and sausages. Process innovation. Modern technology in production, such as histamine and mercury analysis, smart temperature monitoring system, ERP systems, and fleet tracking systems. They are also developing a customer portal where international buyers can track their orders in real time. Packaging innovations on styrofoam boxes and polythene bags recycle 70,000 kilograms of polythene. For coconut oil, they use glass bottles instead of plastic because glass keeps the oil pure and is preferred in European markets. Competitive advantage. International certification like BRCGS, FDA, and IFS allow entry into premium markets. Backward integration reduce cost and dependency on suppliers. Now look at the entrepreneurial traits and leadership style observed at Lini Group. Founder's trait, risk-taking ability and opportunity recognition. He entered industry without prior experience and learned by doing. Current leadership, Mr. Malinta Lakshan Fernando makes decisions carefully and logically, not emotionally. Studies data, observes situation and delegate decisions when needed. Advised young entrepreneurs to gain practical experience before starting a business to avoid mistake. Personal learning reflection. During my visit to Lihini Group, I learned several important lessons about entrepreneurship. Diversification reduces risk. Lihini Group operates in seafood, coconut products, packaging, and hospitality. This helps them survive challenges like COVID-19. Certification are essential for global market. Standards like BRCGS, FDA, and IFS are necessary to enter premium market. Backward integration creates stability. Owning fishing vessels, ice factories, and packaging units gives full control over supply and reduce dependency. Innovation takes time and effort. Developing fish sausages took 3 years of research, showing their patience and collaboration are key. Work experience before entrepreneurship. Practical exposure helps avoid mistake and build confidence. In conclusion, Lihini Group is a strong example of how opportunity recognition, resource management, innovation, and sustainability create a competitive business. This visit helped me understand how theories like opportunity recognition, resource-based view, and effectualization apply in real life. These lessons will guide me in my future career and entrepreneurial journey. Thank you for listening my presentation.